In a faraway place called Bialya, a journalist named Clark Kent got a rare chance to talk to President Rashid. Rashid became the leader after Black Adam caused a lot of problems. Clark noticed that Rashid wasn't letting much help come into Bialya. When Clark asked him about it, Rashid said it was because he was worried about his country's independence and safety. He also pointed out that nobody seemed to care when Black Adam was wrecking things, and Black Adam was still out there causing trouble. Rashid wondered why the superheroes hadn't caught Black Adam yet and made things right in Bialya. Clark told Rashid that the country was in really bad shape, like a giant graveyard. This made Rashid angry, and he ended the interview. After the interview, Clark got a call from his friend Bruce Wayne, who had come to Bialya to investigate some shady food sales connected to Wayne Enterprises. Clark and Bruce decided to work together to figure out what was going on in Bialya and try to help the people there. In a place at Wayne Enterprises camp, a man named Taylor Reese is in charge of food and illegal stuff. He's arguing with Hussein, a local leader, about money and when to deliver things. Reese wants his money from the last delivery before he gives them more stuff. Without knowing it, Reese becomes a host to an otherworldly being called Yurdd. Hussein, who has some armed people and women for other purposes, tells his helper to keep Reese happy for now. They plan to deal with Reese later, and then take over Bialya, even if the people don't want them to. When Bruce's helicopter lands, he meets up with Clark. They talk about the shady stuff happening in the black market and decide to investigate it. As they walk through the camp, they pass a makeshift hospital tent. A doctor comes out to smoke a cigarette, not caring much about the sick people inside. A nurse scolds him for not caring, but the doctor says he's only there because it'll look good on his resume. The nurse gets mad and walks away, leaving the doctor to enjoy a cigarette. On an island called Oolong, Veronica Cale is in charge of a big science project. This island says it's its own country, so Cale has a lot of freedom to do her work. In her room, she thinks back to a time when she thought Black Adam would kill her, but he didn't. She got scared, ran into the jungle, and even thought about ending her own life. But then she decided she had to make sure the dangerous horsemen never come back. Suddenly, Wonder Woman shows up and warns Cale not to try anything tricky, or she'll fight back. Cale tells Wonder Woman that Black Adam defeated the horsemen in Kondak because they were built for a different world, not Earth. She also says that even though their bodies were gone, their spirits are still around, and they could come back. As tensions rise, Cale and Wonder Woman have a serious talk about the ongoing danger of the horsemen and what might happen if they return. In Bialya, Reese is watching a TV show where Clark Kent is interviewed by Jack Ryder about what's happening in the country, but the room is filled with dead bodies that have been partly eaten. Bruce Wayne arrives and calls for security when he realizes something is very wrong. Reese, however, is not who he seems to be. He's been taken over by an alien called Yurdd, who says he accepted Reese's invitation and believes that form must fit function. Yurdd makes Bruce incredibly hungry, nearly causing him to eat anything in sight. Security arrives and shoots at Yurdd, but the bullets don't hurt him. Bruce fights to control his intense hunger, and just in time, Superman arrives to help. Surprisingly, Yurdd, in Reese's form, bites Superman and shares his strange power. Yurdd also makes the nearby guards incredibly hungry, but both Superman and Bruce manage to resist their hunger and stop the guards from hurting each other. Afterward, Bruce is asked to leave Bialya, and he talks with Superman about the possibility of the Four Horsemen returning. Bruce has told the Justice League, the Justice Society of America, and Checkmate about the situation. They're allowed to gather information and take action if needed to prevent a disaster. After Black Adam caused a lot of damage, one person is looking for things that can still be used in the area where everything is destroyed. The survivor doesn't know it, but Azraeus, the last of the horsemen, goes into their body and takes control. Azraeus, who is now inside the survivor, brings a feeling of darkness and not knowing what will happen next to the land.